I think some of you might be saying my volume's a little low. I'll pump it up a little bit. If you look at it from that perspective, on paper, maybe it looks good, maybe it doesn't. To me, it doesn't at all. There's no way. Because one of the things that would happen if you were to homogenize society, innovation. Now, I'm sitting in a room loaded with technology. I can't tell you how many pieces of technology I have to put this show on each day. None of this would exist if it weren't for the innovators, the entrepreneurs, right? A lot of this stuff was actually developed in people's basements and their people's garages. They had a better idea. They wanted to see a different way of doing things, and they created all of this. But if we're all paid the same, let's say we all got $2,000 a month, and that's great. You don't have to work for it. You could just sit around and do absolutely nothing. Some people go, oh, panacea. But then my question would be, what would you buy with the $2,000 if there's no innovation? Right? We'd have iPhone 15, it would stop, and it would be iPhone 15 for the next 30 years because there'd be nobody working on it to make it any better. There'd be no incentive, right? The goal of our society, a capitalist society, is that we are incentivized. By what? Our ability to make as much money as we want, to innovate as much as we want, to go in any direction we want to go in, right? We don't have to fit into a set of rules. And I'm a born entrepreneur. I've always been an entrepreneur. I've always known that. Even when I was in school, I said I didn't really care about getting the degree because I knew I wasn't going to work for anybody. I knew I was going to work for myself. Always knew that. So that gives me the ability to innovate and create and do things that you wouldn't do if you were in a globalist society where everyone's done the same thing, right? They're all paid the same. They're all told to do the same work, the same whatever. There really isn't any innovation because you stifle independent thinking. So one of the things that's great about this country is we have a lot of independent thinking. We have a lot of it. So the ideologies are very different. They're really one side or the other. And this is the battle. You call it good and evil. You call the globalists evil. Yeah, maybe they are. Maybe they want to take it all away from us. Maybe they want us to all fit into the same box and wear the same shoes and the same clothes and have the same money and have the same income and have the same bank accounts and have total control over us. It's pretty evil. I'm not a fan. And you're not a fan either, I'm sure. So we got to fight for this. We got to make sure that we maintain our freedom, that we understand the ramifications here. If this were to continue to go, which looks like right now, we're not winning it totally. We're winning here and there. We're picking off some of their guys, but they're also picking off some of our guys, right? And this is we lose some battles here, we win some battles, and it's going to be a generational battle. There's no question. So we got to stick with it because we want innovation. We want to be able to continue to do the things that we're doing here, right? Putting on this show takes a lot of technology, a lot of innovation to make it happen. And, there's still more to go because it's not perfect yet. Let's get into a place where it continues. You guys agree? I think you do. All right. Let's get into today's agenda. But before we do, I want to make sure that you understand Screw Big Gov is where you want to go first. There's a lot of cool stuff happening on that website. And after the Truth Tour is done, we're going to put a lot more effort into the website. So just know screwbiggov.com is where you're going to find the social media button there on the bottom right. That is where you want to follow Lewis's Telegram channel. That's where he is. If you want to reach him, you get a chance to chat, post comments, and he responds to a lot of comments. It's one of the few people I know that do that. I do it as I can. I don't have as much time, but when I feel like it, or when I have, I always feel like it. When I have time, I go in there. But he's more consistent with that. So if you've got comments about the show, comments about things that are going on in the news, and you want his opinion on it, get on his Telegram channel. That is a great place to do it. Also, follow Renegade Media on Telegram as well, because we're posting all the videos that we share in these shows. I'm posting them up there after the show. And, I post other things as well. Some things that don't actually make it into the show. Master Baggy, who's done a great job, Eric. Thank you so much for all the videos that you post. He does a lot of work in the background finding content. And Denise is always helping as well. She's starting to post content now for us as adding to the stuff that we get to pick from. Saves us a lot of time going into the websites at large. So, these guys are helping out. And certainly what doesn't make it on the show will make it into Telegram on Renegade Media channel. Okay. Let's get into today's news. But first, let me give you this. People ask me all the time, how do I reach you, Rob? Well, Renegade Media on Telegram, and my email is robert@renegademedia.tv. You can email me because I do respond to emails. And I love the emails I've been getting lately. You guys have been really, really good about that. All right. This weekend, you know what's happening, right? The reason that there's no show tomorrow, Bruce Poppy and I are kind of busy. we have a lot of prep work to do in preparation for what? What's happening on Saturday? Come on. All you guys know what's happening on Saturday. Come on. Absolutely true. Not going to want to miss this. It's going to be a great event. I'm really looking forward to, being part of it. I am the guy who will be hosting the live stream. So if you want to get tickets, there's still tickets available. If you want to come for free, truthtour.net. Also register for the live stream. So we'll give you the link. We'll be able to email you and tell you exactly when we're starting, because we're not exactly sure when the start time is, but we'll figure that out. And Saturday it will be an all-day event, and I will be here in the studio hosting it. We got some little new kind of things happening here in the studio. We've changed a few things up. It'll be a nice little look and feel, and we'll be able to bring the stream directly from Nashville all the way to you, wherever you happen to be today. So truthtour.net, that is the place to be. I'm looking forward to, I cannot wait to see some of the speakers and hear their messages. They've got just so much to bring. And it's always great when you can get so many different ideas and people coming from different backgrounds and bringing all this content forward. There's always something you're to go, aha, I didn't know that. Hey, that's cool. And that's the fun for me. And if you're in person, obviously, you're going to network with a lot of people too and make a lot of friends, because that's what these events are all about. All right, in the news we go. Let's dive in. Who's got the $6 billion? Who's got the $6 billion? We were told it was released back to Iran, right? And they're using it to fund Hamas and funding all the stuff that's going on. Well, it's kind of interesting. Now the government's kind of backtracking today on that, and they're saying the $6 billion was unfrozen by the Biden administration last month as part of a prisoner swap agreement. Remember, we got 5, they got 5. Oh, and they got an extra $6 billion. So $1.2 billion per prisoner. They unfroze the funds. 3 anonymous House Democrat aides said Deputy Treasury Secretary Wally Adeyemo told House Democrats the money isn't going anywhere anytime soon. Wait a minute. So it was released in September, and it's not going anywhere? I thought it was released. If it was released, I'm sure they would have gobbled it up, no? During Thursday's White House press briefing, Coordinator for Strategic Communication at the National Security Council, John Kirby, the guy who cries, said none of that money has been accessed, adding that the $6 billion is still sitting in a Qatari bank, all of it, every dime of it. I'm not sure I believe him. The $6 billion was released in early September and had been frozen through U.S. sanctions and had been kept in an account in South Korea. I thought he said it was in Qatari. How is it kept in South Korea? The prisoner swap was hosted in Doha, Qatar, with the host nation agreeing to monitor how Iran spends the billions of dollars. Okay, so maybe that's how it got there. That's an idea. The funds were set to be used for humanitarian assistance, but Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi said in an interview, this money belongs to the Iranian people, the Iranian government, so the Islamic Republic of Iran will decide what to do with this money. Reports revealed that Iran had been helping Hamas plan the attack on Israel since August, with the country's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps giving the final go-ahead last week. So just to give us a little bit of confusion here, I'm not quite sure where the money has gone. Who's got it? It's a $6 billion football. Who's got it? Who's got it now? Does Qatar still have control over it? Or, and can it be refrozen? Like they're positing here it's going to be refrozen? Yeah, maybe Hunter Biden got it. Yeah, thank you, Hobbit. I appreciate that. Maybe he got it. Who knows? But this is interesting. Is this a cover story? I'm going to keep an eye on this one, because this will be interesting to see how they play this going forward, to see just what's going on here, because there's more to it, I think, than we're being told at this point. So in continuing with the Israeli story, because that's the story of the week, crisis hit region Israel. The so-called assisted departure options were outlined in an email sent to American citizens stranded in the Middle Eastern nation, stating that the U.S. government would offer loans for transportation. The Biden regime's assistance to Americans wishing to depart Israel will come at a financial cost. Specifically, the email states that departure assistance is provided via a loan from the U.S. government, which requires travelers to sign a promissory note, an agreement to repay, prior to departure. We'll get you out of there, but you're going to pay for it. This at a time when we are flying in at no cost illegals. Over 200,000 of them have been flown up from South America, up over the border, into the United States. They get to choose the city they want to. Oh, and when they land, we give them a credit card that we're filling up with $2,000 to $3,000 every single month. They're bribed, they're flown, and then they're paid. But if you're an American caught in Israel, you got to pay for the flight out of there. Even if it's just to a neighboring country, you still got to pay for it. I don't know about you, but this doesn't make me too happy. Right? To see that, that's crazy. Administration just hates Americans. Yet where does all that money come from? Remember, the government doesn't have money unless we give it to them in the form of taxes. That's where their money comes from. So we pay our taxes, and in return they say, oh, you're American, screw you. Let's go get the illegals. Let's go pay for them. That's what's going on right now. It's like, I thought I was writing a script for Saturday Night Live when I read this, but it's real. It's really what's happening. I'm going to keep an eye on that one. I want to see if they really follow through with it, because it's a little bit nutty. All right. So over to Congress today. Steve Scalise looks like he's not going to win. Although they voted that he got the nomination behind closed doors, when it went out to the rest of the Republican conference, the Republicans in Congress, I should say, he doesn't have the votes. So he's not going to embarrass himself. He's planning now to resign. Some people said he already has. We'll see. But by the end of the day, he's expected to resign. So Newsmax is reporting Steve Scalise is unlikely to secure 217 votes needed to become the next Speaker of the House. Party insiders have shared that the Louisiana congressman is expected to drop out of the race as early as today, creating a vacuum that other potential candidates like Jim Jordan, Tom Emmer, and Kevin Hearn are poised to fill. After defeating House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan in a slim 113 to 99 closed-door victory, that was yesterday. Answer: think his immune system's important? You think it's a good idea to keep his stress down? Personally, if I were in that position, yeah, no thanks. I want to live. Rather than having the title, I'd rather live a little longer. Thank you very much. That's really what I want to do. So, what happened after that? Well, Jim Jordan looks like he got the nod. This is from Nick Sorter. He says, after spending hours in the GOP's closed-door meeting, Rep. Dan Bishop has just said that Jim Jordan is the only candidate who can get the required 217 votes for the race for House Speaker. Interesting, because Jordan put his support behind Scalise yesterday, didn't he? He said, I support him yesterday. And now Scalise is saying, they're saying he doesn't have the votes. He can't get there. There's, I think, 20 Republicans who said they wouldn't vote for him. Non-starter then. You can't even put him up, right? So now Jim is the only guy who can get the 217 votes. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Lewis mentioned yesterday Matt Gaetz was talking with President Trump. We don't know what's going on, but it'll be interesting to see how it unfolds. I'm going to pay attention to it. How are you going to pay attention? You guys should pay attention too, because this may be something important that comes up out of this. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see, where we go with it. It's just fun times we live in, my friends. Fun times. All right. Quick break. Let's talk about Neumi for a moment. Neumi is my favorite supplement. I actually take it every morning and every afternoon. Take it a little, sometimes even before the shows, to give me a little bit of energy. It's a glutathione product, a microparticle, nanoparticleized glutathione and turmeric. So those things, when you put them in your mouth, they're so small that they get absorbed under the tongue, go right into your system, and bypass the digestive tract. Where most of the glutathione by your digestive system. So what is glutathione? Why is it important? Well, it's the fuel that feeds the liver, and the liver needs that to be able to do the detoxification that it's got to do, right? We're exposed to oxidative stress. We're exposed to toxins in our air and our water and our food all day long. All those toxins we're absorbing have to be removed somehow. Well, the liver's job is to do that. Cleans the blood. It filters the blood is what it does. And glutathione is one of the elements that it uses to be able to do that. So people taking the glutathione product, they realize some interesting results. You saw Lewis's hair has turned darker. Mine's gotten a little bit darker too, apparently, from what people are telling me. That's kind of cool to see. But also, more energy. better sleep, less pain after exertion. So if you're out there raking the leaves, and your muscles are going to hurt the next day, well, glutathione is going to help that recovery because it gets rid of the turmeric, helps with the inflammation that causes a lot of that pain. So great little product. If you want to have a look, it is available to you. There is a page here on renegademedia.tv/energy that gives you more information on glutathione and also talks about the spray that they've got, the Neumi spray that they've got, which is glutathione for the skin. So go have a look, renegademedia.tv/energy. Have a look there. And if you think this is something you want to try, go ahead and give it a shot. You'll probably love it. So many people have been writing and saying, thank you for promoting it. And if you do join and be part of that world, then you're also supporting the show, because this is, a labor of love at this point, and it certainly helps us to pay the bills. And we've got internet bills and other, things that we need to pay each month. So it helps out quite a bit. So thank you for those of you who have taken advantage, and those of you who have not yet. If you want to have a look, please do. renegademedia.tv/energy. You'll find more information there. Okay. As we go on with the news, this is writing a fun story. Well, a hero story, I guess I would call it. I like to look at those kind of stories. It's like, here's heroes out there. Republican Congressman Corey Mills rescues 32 Americans trapped in Israel. Now, I don't know that he actually went over there, but the Gateway Pundit's reporting Republican Congressman Corey Mills, Republican from Florida, is not content to follow Joe Biden's playbook, abandoning Americans trapped overseas. 2 Americans who were stranded in Israel and unable to find flights home. Mills served in the United States Army as a member of the 82nd Airborne. He told Fox News Digital he worked with the U.S. Embassy in Jordan, sharing that many of those he rescued tried unsuccessfully to get help from the State Department. Isn't that really sad? You have Americans in harm's way and the State Department turns a deaf ear. They don't want to hear about it. They don't want to help out. And if they do help out, well, you're going to pay for it. I've never heard of this before. This is a new America I'm not happy with, right? Things are definitely changing. But, we have one who stepped up and did something. He made some phone calls. He did what he needed to do. And he helped 32 get on an airplane, get out of there. That's good. But there's still many more. There's a lot of Americans that go to Israel. I can imagine how many are still trapped in that country. So it'll be interesting to see as we go forward, if more of them do get rescued. And you might ask yourself, was there any Democrats doing anything? Well, there's Cory Booker, and Cory Booker was in Israel, but he used his influence instead of helping people get out. He used his influence to get out himself. He got out of Israel. He used his influence to get out, to flee, because it's a little crazy over there, isn't it? Very different way of looking at things, right? You have the Republican who's trying to help them get out, and you have the Democrat who's helping himself. Kind of indicative, right? Kind of tells a lot of the story, if you will, on how these people think. Crazy stuff. All right. Should we go over to Fauci? Oh, Mr. Fauci. This was kind of interesting. I found this video today, I think, or maybe Master Baggy found this, but we came across it. Down. Oh, I didn't say that. Who, me? No, I didn't say that. Then he said masks are totally useless. And then a week later he goes, the mask companies contacted me. They want more business. So, yeah, go ahead and mask up. It's a good thing to do. This guy waffles so much on everything, right? And now he's saying, well, nobody. Yeah, you kind of did. You kind of did. You put those mandates in place and people thought they were laws and thought they had to do it. Well, it was jab or job, right? So now what is this, a CYA covering his butt and saying, hey, I'm not going to get in trouble for this? Well, you did all these things, guy. You did them. Crazy how things are flipping back and forth, isn't it? So I'm looking at that. I'm saying, this is just nutty. But we got the video proof. And people, it's the digital soldiers, guys. It's you, me, Master Baggy, Denise, Lisa, Lewis, all of us in here, finding these clips and putting these things together and putting shows together like this where we can just remind everybody of what actually happened versus what they're trying to tell us happened. Great thing about the internet, a lot of it doesn't go away. Some of it does. There's some of it you can remove, but a lot of it, stays. You can go back and you could find a lot of this stuff that they even forgot was out there. They'd like those videos to go away, but sometimes they get shared over and over and over again, and they don't always find them. Especially if you share the video and change the name of the video or change the meta tags on the video, then they'll never find it. Because that's how they find things, is they look for a video, they say the video file name is X, and they go and they find everywhere that video is posted, and they remove it all. But if you change the name, save it to your desktop, change the name, then re-upload it, harder. If you change the metadata in there as well, even harder for them to find it. So some of this stuff can be on the internet and can live on and on and on because people know enough to do that kind of thing. You guys are smart. You guys could figure that out, right? And by the way, people are saying thank you to me for sharing that you can use your Rumble channel to upload videos. People didn't think about it like that. You're just here to watch the videos. But yeah, if you have an account on Rumble, a free account, you can also upload videos. Nice place to keep them. Also, if you have a Telegram channel, again, free. Go on Telegram. If you're not on Telegram, go get Telegram. T.me is where you got to go, and it'll pop up and it'll say download the app. And you got the app on iOS, you got the app on Android, you got the app on your desktop, and you can upload videos there. Make a channel, upload videos. We have a channel that's private. We don't share it with anybody, and we just put videos there that, you know, someday in the future might be interesting to have. We go back every once in a while, go look, and you know, you have a channel, a built-in channel called Saved, and you can grab videos and save them into the saved folder. You don't even have to create a channel. And you could have these things for reference later on, because you know what's going to happen. This is kind of interesting to think about in this battle, because at some point it's going to be over, right? And you're going to look back and you're going to say, well, I was either part of that victory, or I was one who made, as Lewis would say, a bigger impact on my couch than I did in this battle. What have you done? Well, if nothing, you could certainly be a digital warrior, digital soldier. You could be sharing information, sharing this video, sharing this show, letting other people know about it, right? And there's going to be a lot coming. The video we played right at the very beginning, a little teaser video, rememberyouroath.com. You can go there now and get a little bit of insight into what's coming. That's going to be released on Saturday. A little bit of a tease. Can't tell you more. But Saturday, Lewis is going to reveal it all. 2 p.m. Central. You're watching the live stream, or you're there in person, you'll be able to hear it. It'll be interesting. Can't wait to hear what he's got up his sleeve. It'll be very interesting to see how you guys respond to it as well, because it is an opportunity for all of us to play a bigger role. And you don't have to leave your house. You don't have to pay anything. So it'll be interesting to see how many jump on it. I suspect everybody will, but we'll see. But we want to have an impact in here. We want to make sure that we're making an impact. We're making a difference, because the generations that come behind us are relying on what we're going to do here going forward. Are we going to let the globalist ideology take over, where they want to homogenize all of us? Or are we going to continue along the ideology that created the greatest country in the world? The ideology that created the entrepreneurship, that created the innovation, that no other country even comes even remotely close to what we've been able to do in this country. The innovation here is crazy. Why? Because we're well rewarded for it. If we invent something and we get it on the market, we can become wealthy beyond our dreams as a reward. Could be writing a book, could be writing an article, could be setting up a blog, could be making a video. There's a lot of different ways to do it today. And if we stifle all that innovation, you know, we become a plain vanilla country with nothing. We're just like everybody else. Just look at Canada. What has come out of Canada? I don't mean to bash it. I grew up there, right? What came out of Canada as innovation is very little. It's not that it's a bad country. It's just not rewarded. The taxation there was so oppressive. When I worked, my first job was working in a liquor commission in Montreal. 50% of my salary was going to taxes. So $1 for me, $1 for them. How do you have any money left at the end of that to really do anything? And the incentive was a negative incentive to start a business, because the higher up you got in the success ladder, the higher your tax rate got. And it got up to like 90% at the higher levels. So no one's incentivized to create a very successful business, because why? Government takes most of it. There's no point. We don't have that here, right? We have a tax system that really helps the entrepreneurship, helps the small business owners. designed to do that. It's designed to keep the innovation going. So we want to maintain that. We want to keep going in that direction. We want to make sure that the innovation continues because we all benefit from it. All of us do. Our lives are better because of the innovation. Well, not always. Sometimes, I'm going to play this video for you. It's 4 minutes long. I'm going to play this video. Shows you sometimes the innovation is not always good. Kind of goes against my argument a little. They say it comes from a farm. It actually is not coming from a farm. It's just a brand name. So you got to be careful. I go into grocery stores, and I've been doing this for many years now, going to the regular grocery stores, right? And we walk around the stores up and down the aisles with an empty cart. There's like nothing that I would eat in there. It's just really hard to see how much chemicals and additives and things are in our food system. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. Just want to get you thinking a little bit, read the ingredient labels, and certainly now you're seeing, stay away from those things. It's just not going to do you any good. Anything that comes from a factory, anything that's processed is not going to do you any good over time. And we work really hard. We take our glutathione, we take our vitamins, we exercise right. The best thing you can do is make sure that you're putting foods into your body that are supportive of your body, because a lot of this stuff can be very harmful. And some of it doesn't detox very easily. You might think of those yellow dyes and such. Why are they banned in other countries? Why are they not banned here? One of the interesting things is and Lewis talked about it too. They were down in Mexico and they were looking at the food. They could eat anything and not feel bloated, not feel sick. Why? Because a lot of those additives don't exist there. Genetically modified foods don't exist there. But we're being exposed to it. I was walking around the store the other day and I was noticing the young women, right? I was noticing how heavy they all are. And it's like, this wasn't the case when I was in high school. When I was in high school, they were all thin as a rail. Right? They look like string beans. And today, they're really much heavier. It's not their fault. It's a lot of it is the toxicity in our food, the content of the food that we're eating. A lot of toxins, and the body just can't keep up, can't get rid of it all. So we got to be careful. Be careful what you're putting in your mouth. Be careful what you're eating. Be careful what you're buying. Those foods are convenient. And people will say, well, organic costs more. Well, it's cheaper than the doctor bills, right? So I look at it that way. It's like, you're going to pay me now, you're going to pay me later. Well, I'd rather pay now and not have to pay later and not have to go to those doctors and go through whatever you need to go through to be able to get your body back on track. So think about it. Just, a little bit of seed there, planting a little seed, just saying, not everything's what it seems. And just because the FDA says it's approved does not mean that it is, and a lot of genetically modified stuff. So if you are gluten intolerant, as an example, if you buy wheat from another country where GMOs are banned and where glyphosate is banned, right? Something like Italy or something like in the European Union, you'll find that you can eat that stuff and not have a reaction. Just as an example. See that time and time again. Because it's not the wheat. People just didn't become gluten intolerant. They've been eating wheat for thousands of years. What happened? More chemicals, right? So it's the chemicals that are causing the problem and disrupting the digestion. And you just got to look at it. You got to dig into it. There's a lot of information out there. And, one of my areas of passion really is this. So I could talk for hours on this kind of thing because we want people to know, you are what you eat. You got to be careful what you're putting in your mouth. Just because the FDA says it's okay does not necessarily, they've said something in there that was very important. At the levels that they're going to use it, they said it's not harmful. Okay, so at higher levels, it is harmful. That's interesting. If I eat too much broccoli, is broccoli harmful? No. We can't see the stock trades of government officials. We can't see who's on Jeffrey Epstein's client list. And he says, are you awake yet? Good point. A lot of stuff that's hidden from us that we should be able to see. We're supposed to have a transparent government, a representative government that represents our desires. Not supposed to be adversarial. It's government for the people, by the people, of the people, not against the people, which is where we are now. Right? The government thinks they're separate, they're better than us, and they're really supposed to be our servants. It's completely flipped. We got to work at flipping this boat back around the right direction, guys. That's what's going to happen. All right. How powerful are air raid sirens? You can tell some things just aren't what they appear to be. We live in interesting times for sure, and we can't trust everything that we see. So that looked, kind of staged. What do you think? A little bit staged there. Air raid siren goes off, and boom, he's running now. Crazy stuff. Okay. Closing today, I want to just make sure that you understand we're in interesting times, and it is important that we keep our head up, our eyes open, be aware of what's around you, the people around you. Always be aware of the environment that you're in. Things happen, and like I said, the people on 9/11 didn't know what they were in for. They thought they were in for a Tuesday morning of a job they probably didn't enjoy, and they had a very different experience that Tuesday, didn't they? So what I encourage you to do is check in each day. What I do is, I get up in the morning and have a green drink and get my day going. Then I'll look at the feeds, the more important news feeds. And what I'm looking for specifically is there anything, this is my primary question, is there anything happening out there that I need to pay attention to or change my plans for? Because something big is happening. Most of the time, there's no answer to that, right? There's nothing big. It's just not a big deal. But I always have that in the back of my mind. I'm looking for, is there anything that I need to be concerned about that's happening? We don't know. But I look for it because in case it's there, I want to be ready. If not, I go on with my day as planned, just knowing that we live in uncertain times more than ever. I encourage you to be strong, but always remain flexible at the same time. Stand your ground, speak your truth, be the one who makes a difference, because very shortly, they're going to be coming to you, they're going to be coming to me, and they're going to go, how did you know? How did you know all of this stuff? Well, we were in a crazy cult, you see. We were on a truth tour, and we met all these crazy truthers and these conspiracy theorists. Turned out they were all right. Everything they were saying turned out to be true. President Trump, all the things that he was saying, he was right about most of it too. Interesting. They're going to come to us. And we're going to be the ones that are going to have the shoulder that they're going to cry on, because they're going to be shocked when they figure it out. So be strong, be flexible, keep your eye on the goal. We will win. I guarantee you we will win. I have no doubt in my mind about that. And I encourage you to be part of the solution. Join us. RememberYourOath.com. Go there now if you haven't already. During this show, please go there now. And also, RenegadeMedia.tv. Get signed up there. We have some good stuff coming for you there as well. All right. Thank you so much for being part of today's show. This was a lot of fun. I miss Lewis. It's always a lot more fun when he's here. We banter back and forth really nicely. I really enjoy that. And I know you guys do as well. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing. Make sure you're following the Renegade Media channel on Rumble, and also here, the Screw Big Gov channel if you're watching there. And we will see you again very early. My time, very early, like 5 a.m. my time, Saturday for the Truth Tour. Taking the day off tomorrow because we've got a lot of prep work to do. I've got a lot to do on my side, but we'll be back Saturday morning with Truth Tour number 77.